Welcome to the first ever Ink Ribbon tutorial. If you're someone who is interested in learning 3D and just want to try it out, I am going to teach you how to make this simple scene right here. I know that it's just cards, but you gotta walk before you can run. So get a pen and paper because there's going to be a couple things that I want you to jot down just for your own memory, and we are going to go over Blender 101 together. Hope you guys are ready. And just in case you don't know where to get Blender, go to blender.org, and up here in the download tab you can download Blender 2.8. There's also a version for Mac and Linux, so yeah, and it's completely free, which is awesome. When you open up Blender, you're always going to see these three things. This is a light, this is a cube, and this is a camera. Never delete the camera, but you can delete these if you want to. I leave the light because then it's going to be dark. The cube is just sort of like a starting point, but you can just delete it. Now let me turn this on so you guys can see my keys. Okay, so here you'll be able to see what I'm doing. So one thing you really want to know is Shift A. You're going to be using this a lot. Shift A is how you add objects, so Shift A plane, now I've got a plane, or Shift A cube, now I've got a cube. So this is across the entire program. You're going to be adding stuff. The next thing to know is that holding the middle mouse button or your scroll wheel and moving the mouse around is how you navigate. Now another thing you can do is hold Shift and the middle mouse button, and that way you'll just pan the camera. Now the next thing we're going to learn is basic movement. Okay, so G, and if you move your mouse around while you have it selected, you'll move stuff around, which is cool. And if you right click, it's kind of like the Nevermind button. So always make sure you've got this orange around whatever you're trying to select, because see here, I don't have it selected, and if I hit G, nothing happens. The thing to know about this is right now you can't tell, but it's moving forward and backward. It's sort of going all over the place, and it's hard to tell what's going where. So what you want to do is hit G, Y, and that moves it only along the y-axis, or X along the x-axis, or Z along the z-axis, up and down. This is going to be something you're going to be doing a lot, trust me. Now, I don't know why they call it G for move. I like to think of it as G for go. The other ones are a lot easier to remember. S for scale, and same thing applies to this. So if you hit S, Z, it only scales up and down, or if you hit X, it only does on the x-axis, and Y. This applies to rotate as well, which is R. And see here, it's on the x-axis, the y-axis, and the z-axis. Just remember G, R, S. Go, rotate, and scale. And X, Y, Z is X, Y, Z. And if you ever forget, the colors are up here. Y is green, X is red, and Z is blue. So Z is easy because it's up and down, but X and Y, X is red, Y is green. Now the last thing, I promise, and then we're moving on, is tab. So here I'm in object mode, you can see right here, and you can also select it here from edit mode, but just pressing tab goes back and forth. Now edit mode is where you actually can start messing with the actual geometry. But if I get out of this and go into object mode, now it's just for manipulating. So take a second to play around, try doing stuff. If you mess up anything, just close Blender and open it again. And now let's move on to the next video where we're going to do some modeling and UV work.